Let me welcome you to the fourth episode of season 4 of the L2X chat. If you haven't seen the episodes 1 to 3, please go have a look at them. But if you've seen them, welcome, and let's dive into episode 4. I am your host, Henry Baye. In this chat, we tackle the subject of high trust environments and what you can expect in those kinds of environments. Recently, I read 2 fascinating stories. The first story was about Warren Buffett, the CEO of Berkshire, who we all know very well. As you would probably know, he's regarded as one of the most trusted leaders in the world. He completed a major acquisition of McLean Distribution, a $23 billion company from Walmart. As public companies, both Berkshire Hathaway and Walmart are subject to all kinds of market and regulatory scrutiny. Typically, a merger of this size would take several months to complete and cost several $1 million to pay for accountants, auditors, attorneys to verify, validate all kinds of information. But in this instant, because both parties operated with high trust, the deal was made with 1 2-hour meeting and a handshake. In less than a month, it was completed. In a management letter that accompanied his 2004 annual report, Warren Buffett wrote, "We did not do due diligence. We knew everything would be exactly as Walmart said it would be." And it was. The second story is that of legendary leader Herb Kelleher, chairman and former CEO of Southwest Airlines. In Robert K. Cooper and Ayman Safwat's book, Executive EQ, the authors share a remarkable story, and it goes like this. Walking down the hall one day, Gary Barron, then executive vice president of the $700 million maintenance organization for all of Southwest, presented a 3-page summary memo to Kelleher outlining a proposal for a massive reorganization. On the spot, Kelleher read the memo. He asked one question to which Barron responded that he shared the concern and was dealing with it. Kelleher then replied, "Then it's fine with me. Go ahead." The whole interaction took about 4 minutes. These stories are great examples of just how important it is to operate in a high-trust environment. The first thing that jumps out of the stories is the speed with which things happen. Clearly, conversations are shorter, presentations of business cases are shorter as well, fewer questions get asked, and decisions are arrived at much quicker. This means also that some of the many processes that would have been followed are cut out, and this leads to reduction of costs and time wastage. The reason why various levels of bureaucracy is built in organizations and processes is the lack of trust. Where there is high trust, many of these bureaucracies and endless buildup of controls can be eliminated. The second thing you can expect to see in a high trust environment is empowerment. Where there is high trust, there is a belief that when people are empowered, they will use their empowerment in a responsible and transparent way. One of the ways empowerment works in frontline situations is when staff in the frontline organizations are given delegated authority to instantly make decisions on discounts and service remediations. This means that these staff are trusted to use their judgment. This empowerment promotes quick decision-making and significantly improves the experience of clients. Empowerment works in the same way in senior decision-making scenarios where people at various levels are trusted to make important decisions and given the sole authority to do so. The story of Joseph in the Bible is a great example of high trust situations and what they lead to. To start with, when Joseph was given responsibility over the house of his slave master Potiphar, he was such a good steward that Potiphar did not have to worry about anything in his household. Potiphar put him in charge of his household and he entrusted to his care everything he owned. In fact, it was said that from the time he put him in charge of his household and all that he owned, he did not concern himself with anything except the food he ate. In high trust environments, the cost of doing things is lower. In the earlier story we read, it was quite clear that many of the layers and processes that drive up costs were not needed. And so, obviously, costs went down. The fifth benefit is psychological safety of employees. A high trust organization is one in which employees feel safe to take risks, express themselves freely, and innovate. When trust is instilled in an organization, tasks get accomplished with less difficulty because people are more likely to collaborate and communicate with each other in productive ways. And as a result, outcomes tend to be more successful. Trust has been shown to play a hugely important role in employee engagement and is seen as the number one thing that effectively lays the foundation on which employee engagement is built. The UK voluntary engagement movement, Engage for Success, refers to engaged organizations as having strong and authentic values with clear evidence of trust and fairness based on mutual respect, where two-way promises and commitments between employers and employees are understood and fulfilled. Stanford psychologist Emma Stepler points to a large body of research showing that a high-trust culture nurtures collaboration, creativity, and encourages employees to innovate. This is unsurprising because when people are trusted to make mistakes and learn from them, the result is a high propensity towards innovation and new ways of doing things. High trust creates a willingness to try new things and see them work. And this is further catalyzed by genuine appreciation when people do new things rather than other people taking credit for what they have not done. Employee retention has also been shown to be better in high trust companies. The 2016 Fortune 100 Best Companies to Work For report showed an average voluntary turnover rate of just 10% of employees who worked in a high-trust work environment. Great Place to Work has carried out research into the links between business success and high-trust cultures. The research revealed several significant outcomes. They include turnover rates that are around 50% less than industry competitors and stock market return 2 to 3 times higher than average. High trust cultures are also connected to greater levels of customer satisfaction. An analysis from Michael D'Antonio and John Kezima explains that high trust cultures are also linked to increased spending habits known as the spend shift, which consumers opting to spend their money with companies known for genuinely promoting values such as transparency, fairness, kindness, and generosity. Here is where I wrap up this chart with the results of a study in the Harvard Business Review, which says people at high-trust companies report 74% less stress, 106% more energy at work, 50% higher productivity, 13% fewer sick days, 76% more engagement, 29% more satisfaction with their lives, and of course, 40% less burnout than people at low-trust companies. The research further suggests that those working in the high-trust companies enjoy their job 60% more, were 70% more aligned with their company's purpose, and felt 66% closer to their colleagues. And a high trust culture improves how people treat one another and themselves. Compared with employees at low trust organizations, the high trust folks had 11% more empathy for their workmates, depersonalized them 41% less often, and experienced 40% less burnout from their work. They felt a greater sense of accomplishment as well, 41% more. So there you have it. There's no alternative to a high-trust environment. Let me invite you, as you reflect on this subject, to become part of the many individuals and leaders who are working actively and intentionally to build high-trust environments around themselves. Here is what I would expect you to do next. First, subscribe to this channel so that you do not miss any of the series. Like and comment to get more people seeing it, and share this video as widely as you can. And if you have any questions and reflections, please share them with us. In my next chart, I will be painting a picture of what low trust environments look like. You guessed it. Once I talked about high trust environments, you expect me to talk about low trust environment, and I'll do just that. I'm Henry Baye on the L2X chart. See you soon.